Good evening, classmates. My name is Roger Tabbitt, and this is for Leisure Ed 5907 with Professor Perez. My project was actually a really interesting one. Professor and I spoke a little bit at like the beginning, and we started emailing, and we got discussing that I am kind of like going the teaching route of my master's program at FIU. So this is actually a really interesting and really fun project we got to work on with together. So I got like my PC here, and I'm actually going to give you guys kind of like a go through of what exactly I've been doing the last few months. And so it's actually in preparation for a class for LEI 4724, and it's a class on different like modalities and recreation therapeutic techniques. So it's actually kind of neat because she's actually doing Professor Perez. She's actually doing a teaching a fall semester, and she pitched to me, "Hey, why don't we make a class from scratch?" I'm sure from your guys' experiences in classes of the past, you've done everything from, the PowerPoints to the quizzes to the exams. And this was kind of an interesting thing that was always kind of like on, at the back of my mind. What does it take to be a professor in a class, an online curriculum? And this was like a really good insight into what this sort of class encompasses. So what I'll probably do is I'll move this is my laptop computer recording. So I'll probably move it closer to the screen so you guys will see exactly what was created. So we actually started. I'll do some like visual aids. I'm on my final set here. So right around early to late May, I met with Professor Perez and we went through everything. So right here, facilitation techniques. Talked about summer schedule, 12 weeks, fall semester, took notes. No textbook, but we decided to actually do a textbook. And it's the Dr. Stumbo facilitation techniques. And a lot of a lot of different PowerPoints, modules, and everything was based off of that. So we did PowerPoints. I did the learning activities, quiz, exam, all that good stuff. So that's what's the bread and butter of doing a RT class. So we got let's see so it was topics that align with the learning objectives. So that was really important because there's learning objectives for each class that's directed by the university. You need to know when you're doing the class there's certain learning objectives, particularly to that particular class, you need to cover and you need to have it within your curriculum, or the university is going to be like, the heck's this guy teaching? So we got instructional materials, and then we got accreditation objectives for the classes. So you got to create PowerPoints. You got to cover the material. And then next step, a week later, was this next meeting. I like to take notes. Hence, whether you're a student or a professor or future professor, it's always important to take notes. You got to know what you're doing. So we did everything. We did we started with chapters. We're like, let's just do modules. So the different topics, we did module 1. That was the need for evidence-based practice. And then we got module 2, communication instructional techniques. Module 3, selecting program activities based on goals. Sound familiar? Module 4, health behavior change and models. Module 5, cognitive and behavioral approaches to therapeutic recreation. Module 6, leisure education. That's when we're starting to get into the cool stuff. You gotta do a little bit of the psychology and evidence based practice stuff to we got back up what we do. You got to prove that it's actually good stuff. Let's see. Module 7, problem solving therapy and Montessori method. I know, right? Sounding familiar. Module 8, anger management, stress management, and pain management. That's like the final one I'm working on for the last part of the week. Module 9, social skills training and assertiveness. Module 10, community participation, inclusion, integration, and reintegration. Module 11, physical activity and exercise. I mean, we got a lot of hands and pies. Module 12, sensory interventions and virtual reality. That was one I threw in because I actually did an innovation project recently about virtual reality and as a treatment modality for veterans. Module 13, adaptive sports, adventure therapy. I know, right? These are just wonderful. Module 14, disability rights and education and awareness. Module 15, animal assisted therapy, horses, cats, dogs, dolphins that I work with every week. And then, of course, Module 16, finals week. So, Module 16, 16 modules, 16 weeks, about 4 months of classes. So, came up with that. So, that was kind of like the notes we took. And then from there, as you can see, a lot of Stumbo, a lot of Dr. Stumbo's materials. And then leisure education. So what I did is I went through each chapter, highlighted all the important stuff, everything from different modalities, communication skills, planning and leading groups, instructional technique, so on and so forth. And that's kind of like the bread and butter is you go through each of these and you highlight what's important, what's not important. And then, and then the quizzes and exams, are off the PowerPoints, you make it clear. Study the PowerPoints. What I did when I was a student, I always printed them off because it was a good reference for quizzes and exams. And guess what? If you followed and did the PowerPoints and read them and printed them off and maybe took notes, you will do just fine and dandy on the quizzes and exams. So we got that. Let's see. And then the final product I will show you guys. I'll close you in up on here. All right. Try not to let it fall down. Stay. All right. So we got need for evidence-based practice. Here we go. /BPI. Sorry, I'm not the best with acronyms. So we're going to open up that PowerPoint. This one's the fresher one. So there you go. We made a PowerPoint. Evidence-based practice, conscientious, explicit, EBP. See? That's the part of it. That's what's really neat about doing this sort of thing and teaching is you get to be creative. You get to think of different types of ways to present material so that it's very easily attainable and understandable for students as well as me too, because this was the way I learned and this is how I was able to do, all my classes was the PowerPoints were so wonderful. And if you have pretty pictures, it definitely helps out. You don't want to get too crazy because then it can be distractional. And we learned is that throughout the PowerPoints, Professor Perez, she's going to use these in her actual class in the fall. And she's going to do like a little, remember the video along with the PowerPoints. So yeah, a bunch of different ways. So there we go. Participant demographics, modalities, references, bada bing, bada boom. And then we got evidence-based practice. We're moving a little bit further. We're going into behavioral outcomes. See, just wonderful, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's close that one out. All right, module 2. We'll go until we got about the, we're reaching about the 10 to 15 minute point. So module 2, let's see, communication. Communication techniques. Oh, what do you know? See, this is just wonderful. So this is definitely something for future reference. So if you guys are actually looking into going the professor route and teaching, it's so important because I learned so many things. Is that I learned how to use my experiential experience as a recreational therapist for a VA environment. I work with everything from veterans from geriatric to Alzheimer's dementia. Now I work in mental health in our domiciliary environment. This is very, very good material. And a lot of this is a combination of book as well as my own experiential of like adding little bits and pieces. So that's what it is, having a personality, being able to blend real world experience with education to teach it to other students who want to become practitioners of recreational therapy, who want to learn what it takes to be a professor. I always kind of wondered because I really want to be one. I want to be an educator in this field. So as you can see, it just looks so good. I know, right? And this is a great PowerPoint software, the latest and greatest for Microsoft. It actually has it's like a little design ideas. So it can actually go through it and it can make your different design ideas and make it look cooler. I'm just going to leave it this way because I don't want to mess with it, but just amazing. All right. And the next one, we got instructional techniques. And there we go. Teaching process. See what I mean? It's just So that's what's really important, and that's the most important thing I've learned about this entire directed study. Is it gave me a one-to-one perspective, as well as I actually even got access to the professor porthole on Canvas, so I knew exactly what it takes to build a class from scratch. So now that I have all these under my belt, I'm very excited. I'm looking so forward to the point that after these classes are done, I will be eligible to be an adjunct professor for FIU or some other entity, preferably FIU for convenience. And I'm really excited that now I have a good grasp of what it takes to produce educational material because it pertains to our field. It shows our excitement, shows our dedication. If you guys remember from one of your chapters towards the end, I think it was problems in therapeutic recreation. It stated one of the issues was not having master's to PhD level rec therapists. Most of them are just bachelor's level. But I want to go beyond that. I want to extend beyond the bachelor's degree. I wanted to teach this because I have a desire to teach, preferably a professor. So that's what's really neat about this. Is I really look forward to teaching this and put it in a way that everyone can understand. And I gotta say, I really appreciate everything and working together as a team because part of being a professor in academia or a teacher is being a team dynamic and working together. So this is just I actually surprised myself of how you can just blend your creativity to just now we're talking about selecting programs based on goals. Look at that. But then you saw some of the PowerPoints were a little bit shorter. So that is where you make quizzes. Do we got a quiz here? So we got to module 4. Look at that. We got quiz questions. All that good stuff. I guess didn't have questions on it, but trust me, believe me, I did make them. All right, so we got that. And the best thing to really take from this class, and all in all, is that you got to practice what you preach. If you don't have a passion, if you don't have a desire to want to go beyond and teach it, it's okay. That's the master's degree is not for some people it's a sense of academic accomplishment. For me, it opens up a bunch of doors for me professionally because a lot of peers that I work with have usually a master's to PhD level education. So with that professionally, it's going to open up a bunch of doors that I can automatically be the highest GS level at a VA for recreational therapy. It also opens up the doors for me becoming a supervisor. I really see the need and all the things that are really important in my field of study that, so it opens up windows academically to be a professor. I know what it takes now to be in that type of leadership role. So those are the things that I feel are really important and the best things that I got out of this directed study class. Thank you guys so much for taking your time. My name is Roger, soon to be masters, hopefully, and possibly I might be a professor for some of your friends that start taking recreational therapist classes. I really look forward to it, and I cannot wait. Hopefully you're excited about this wonderful world of recreational therapy as I am, and I've come to love. Have a great day.